just in the nick of time. The USDA on Monday released its latest grain stocks report. It found old crop corn stocks stored in all positions at 824 million bushels and soybean stocks in all positions at 141 million bushels. Both were down 17% from September 1st, 2012. Thursday morning, we talked with Jeff Peterson from Heartland Farm Partners for his thoughts on corn and soybean markets going into next week's possible October crop report and for his reaction to the latest grain stocks numbers.
We were a little surprised on the corn number. We thought that stocks number is higher than expected. The bean number, we were actually probably looking for maybe a little bit smaller number there, but we were surprised by how the market reacted to the report. We didn't think we should have seen beans pull back almost 40 cents and corn 15 based on the numbers, but I think that just tells us how nervous the market is.
Next week there's supposed to be a crop progress report, obviously on Monday, but the big report would be Friday's October crop report. Now, if nothing changes in Washington from the time of this taping, the government offices won't be open, so they won't be able to release that report. How do you think that could change things for those in grain trading?
Yeah, I think what it does, it probably consolidates our trade some. Right now we've got the funds very long in soybeans. We've got them very short in corn. I think they want to probably trim those positions back a little bit, but I think what that does just narrows up our trading ranges. It doesn't give anybody confidence to put on new positions.
What if it does come out Friday, or if it gets pushed back maybe? What do you think we'll see? Do you think we'll see an adjustment in acreage at all?
I do. I think we'll see an adjustment. We're thinking corn acres could come down about 1.2 million acres. We think soybeans could come down about 300,000. And what everybody's looking at is that there was FSA numbers that were released that everybody's looking for NAS to build into their numbers. So I think that's what everybody's looking for.
What do you expect out of this crop? We'll start to see some of those numbers as well. Do you expect that there's going to be solid numbers for yield in corn and soybeans?
It sure looks like it. The numbers we're hearing so far are definitely showing that above expectation yields. As a matter of fact, we've raised our yield up to about a 156. Right now, NASA's and USDA's at a 155.3. We're still at a 40.9 right now in the soybean yield, and USDA's at a 41.2, but we have raised our yield on soybeans a half bushel also.
Any possibility after that fallback that you've started to see harvest lows, or where do you think they might come?
You know, I would love to be able to sit here, Jeff, and tell you that the harvest lows are in, but I don't think they are. Unless we get a surprise in acres or a surprise in the yield, I don't think we've seen our lows yet. As we've been doing our research, take first soybeans, I think there's an outside chance that we could see $12 on the future side, and then the corn, it's very possible to go down to 4 1/4. Now, having said that, if all of a sudden when we see the numbers from USDA, they come out and dramatically change their acres, then we'll have to reevaluate, but that's what we're looking at right now.
What about 2013 and 2014? And this is where it gets interesting because South America is supposed to produce that huge crop of beans. Obviously, the U.S. is producing a record crop of corn. So if you're looking forward to 2014 to try and make some sales, what are the things that you want to keep in mind and maybe the prices that you want to shoot for?
Yeah, I think what you really have to focus on, you got to start with your break-even numbers. This is going to be the type of year, from what we're seeing, is as you look at the 2014 crop, you're probably not going to get a chance to sell the number you want to sell. And so what that means is that you get these corn for 2014 in the upper 4s, above 475. I think you need to look to be a seller of that on some of your new crop corn. Over on the bean side, you know, if you've got beans on any bounce in here, I would be looking to sell some additional soybeans out there in the 14 also.
And do you know when that might come or how greedy you might be?
Yeah, I think right now, and we're evaluating that very close, if we get a little bounce here, we're actually looking at maybe selling some more beans on the new crop side for the 14 crop. On the corn side, we're looking at that too, just because we believe that it's going to be hard to get a big enough bounce, I believe, after harvest.
How strong is basis or the basis numbers around kind of this eastern Nebraska area?
Yeah, basis has been really good. I mean, we're at a point right now when the really good basis levels, you know, they're kind of coming in and converging with our spot harvest basis, but the number is still definitely a lot stronger than normal.
What would that indicate?
Indicates that there's very strong demand. We know that the crop is late. We know that the farmers sold a very small amount. Some of the grain buyers out there are telling us 20% of normal's been sold.
On both corn and beans?
On both corn and beans. And as these bushels are coming in, what a lot of them are saying is, you know what, we're not seeing as many sales as what we thought we'd see across the scale. I think everybody's looking for higher prices, and that concerns me a little bit because unless we see a surprise come in from the supply side, I don't think we can see enough additional demand to bounce these markets back higher as much as some people think.
Do you think there's more demand that could enter in based off of what maybe left with the high prices last year?
Yeah, that's the thing that everybody's kind of really trying to evaluate. And as we look at the numbers, one of our concerns is that, take for instance corn on the export side. We're still actually higher priced than say like the Ukraine. We're getting more competitive with Brazil, so we're definitely not out there as the least cost producer. Then when we go ahead and interject some changes in the US dollar, and that gets us in a position where we're not as competitive, so it makes exports very hard. Now over on the soybean side, what it looks like on soybeans is the fact that China's came in and bought a lot of beans. There's some good demand here, but we know right after the first of the year, all that demand will switch to South America.